Scene opens with visuals of ancient Padua, Italy. Soft, inspiring music begins to play. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying back in time to explore the life of a truly remarkable figure, a man whose name is whispered in moments of frantic searching and hopeful prayer. He's known as the Hammer of Heretics, a doctor of the church, and perhaps most famously, the patron saint of lost things. This is the incredible story of Saint Anthony of Padua. Born in Lisbon, Portugal in 1195, his name wasn't always Anthony. He was baptized as Fernando Martins de Bulhões. From a young age, he felt a deep calling to a life of faith, initially joining the Augustinian order. But the course of his life would change dramatically after a pivotal event. He witnessed the return of the bodies of 5 Franciscan friars who had been martyred in Morocco. Inspired by their courage and sacrifice, Fernando felt an overwhelming desire to follow in their footsteps. He left the Augustinians, joined the Franciscan order, and took the name Anthony. His initial dream was to travel to Morocco and preach, possibly even to face martyrdom himself. But fate, or perhaps a higher power, had other plans. Severe illness forced his ship to change course, and he landed in Sicily. From there, he traveled through Italy, living a quiet life of prayer and solitude in a hermitage. For a time, his profound intellect and powerful speaking abilities remained a well-kept secret. No one knew the humble friar in their midst was one of the greatest preachers the world would ever know. The turning point came during an ordination ceremony in Forlì. The scheduled preacher failed to appear, and in a moment of desperation, the superior asked Anthony to step up and say just a few simple words. Anthony reluctantly agreed. What followed left everyone speechless. He spoke with such passion, clarity, and profound knowledge of the scriptures that it was clear this was no ordinary friar. His hidden talents were finally revealed to the world. From that day forward, Anthony's life was a whirlwind of preaching. He traveled extensively throughout Italy and France, drawing massive crowds wherever he went. Sometimes, the churches were so packed that he had to preach in the open town squares. His sermons were not just eloquent, they were transformative. He spoke with a fire that came from a deep love for God and a genuine concern for people's souls. He had a unique gift for explaining complex theological ideas in ways that everyone, from the simplest farmer to the most learned scholar, could understand. One of the most famous stories associated with St. Anthony involves a lost book. A novice, who was leaving the order, stole Anthony's treasured psalter, a book of psalms that he had personally annotated. Anthony prayed fervently for its return. The story goes that the novice was not only moved to return the book, but also to return to the Franciscan order. This incident is why, for centuries, people have turned to St. Anthony when they've lost something precious, from their car keys to their faith. He's the friend we call upon when something is missing, but he was more than just the finder of lost items. He was a worker of miracles. Legends abound of his miraculous powers. One tale recounts him preaching to the fish when heretics refused to listen, and the fish gathered in the river, lifting their heads from the water as if in attention. Another famous story, often depicted in art, is the miracle of the Eucharist. To convince a doubter, Anthony presented the consecrated host to a hungry mule, which knelt before it, ignoring the oats offered to it. Perhaps the most tender image we have of him is the vision of the Christ child. It's said that while staying with a friend, his host peeked into his room and saw Anthony holding and speaking with the baby Jesus, bathed in a heavenly light. This vision symbolizes his profound intimacy with Christ and his pure, childlike faith. St. Anthony's tireless work eventually took a toll on his health. He passed away at the young age of 36 on June 13th, 1231. The children of Padua were said to have run through the streets crying, "The saint is dead! The saint is dead!" The miracles attributed to his intercession were so numerous and immediate that he was canonized by Pope Gregory IX less than a year after his death, one of the fastest canonizations in history. Today, Saint Anthony of Padua remains one of the most beloved saints in the world. He's a powerful intercessor, a brilliant teacher, and a compassionate friend in heaven. His life teaches us that our true purpose can be hidden, waiting for the right moment to be revealed. It shows us the power of devotion and the incredible things that can happen when we dedicate our lives to a higher calling. So the next time you misplace your keys, say a little prayer to Saint Anthony. But also remember the man behind the legend, a brilliant preacher, a humble friar, and a true miracle worker whose greatest desire was to help people find their way back to God. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the life of Saint Anthony. If you found this story inspiring, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who might enjoy it. And don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so you won't miss our next exploration into history's most fascinating figures. Until next time, stay curious and God bless.